From dust we come, and dust we shall return. This is the normal circle of life in nature. But what if the cause of death was somewhat unnatural? Fear, outrage, distraught, desperation. These are the grievous emotions death row convicts feel while waiting for their execution. They walk down the hall of shame in silence, wincing at the thought of what will become of them. Their legs quiver at every step, their eyes darting back and forth, their lips bleeding in distress. They look the Grim Reaper directly in the eye, knowing what will be their fate. A few seconds of pleading, acceptance, silence. A cold atmosphere floods the room, knowing blood has been shed. They all leave the room to continue their day, knowing full well what just happened. Tell me, does that sit well for you? Do you accept without a shadow of a doubt that it is acceptable and should be the norm? From the times of Hammurabi's Code to the time of the French Republic, the death penalty has been used vehemently. Even in the modern era, people have been lawfully murdered for their own interpretation of justice. Many people try to rationalize and moralize execution. One point they try to emphasize is that it acts as a deterrence for crime. However, they always neglect the countless studies that show it is not the case. Let me tell you something. The American Civil Liberties Union stated time and time again that the death penalty is not a deterrence. Moreover, have you ever thought that you may have indirectly killed someone? Let me explain. All government activities are fueled by taxpayers' money, which includes executions. Whether we like it or not, we are financing these killings for unfounded reasons. In addition, executions are extremely subjective. In other words, one judge may make the decision of executing someone, while another may pardon. While most matters regarding the court may be subjective, death is not something you can bring back. Let us go back quickly to the year of 1939 through the life of Mr. Joe Araday from Ohio, USA. He was a mentally challenged person, aged 21, but had a mental age of a 6-year-old boy. He was convicted for the murder of Dorothy Drain. While they had Joe detained, they found the real culprit and also had him detained. Without a sense of morality, they both were to be executed despite the evidence supporting his innocence. One touching aspect was he used to play with toy trains in his cell, given by the sheriff, only to give it to a fellow prisoner when he's going to be executed. When asked what would be his last meal, he chose ice cream. Once the priest told him to finish his ice cream, he just smiled and said, "I'll save it for later," as he did not understand what execution means. While he did feel something was wrong when he entered the gas chamber, the sheriff just held his hand, telling him everything was all right. He was executed at age 23. However, listen to this. After 7 decades, or 72 years to be exact, he was proven innocent and his name was cleared. He was just one of the victims of this diabolical system. And suppose that the suspect was rightly convicted. Can we really judge whether or not he or she may live? Can we say that despite not knowing their own upbringings or environment, they deserve death? How would we know for sure if the suspect was not coerced into doing so? What would happen to their families then? Will their loved ones hate the government and start to become dysfunctional members of society for false retribution? Will they be executed as well? How long will this endless cycle of pain and suffering be? How is executing someone beneficial for society? An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. However, it does not mean that you will go unpunished. There are many more ethical and effective ways of punishing a criminal, most notably a double life imprisonment, or reclusion perpetua. In conclusion, while the death penalty has been rooted in human civilizations for millennia, it does not have to be this way. The death penalty, according to studies, has never had a substantial effect on crime rate. So why is it still adopted? Why is the government using taxpayers' money for something that does not even work? Are we going to neglect the pain and suffering Mr. Araday has faced? How many more Joe Aradays will be wrongfully accused and suffer from someone else's mistake? Are we this dystopian society that is apathetic to anyone other than themselves? If so, are we really progressing as a civilization? To end this, let me ask you a question. Who has given us the right to choose who lives and who dies? Have we truly lost what it means to be human? He who hath not sinned may cast the first stone. Thank you.